October 2021 marked the 10th anniversary of the launch of the first operational Galileo satellites. Now the 11th Galileo launch will see the first 2 satellites of the third batch being carried into orbit by a Soyuz from Europe's spaceport. This third batch is comprised of 12 first-generation Galileo satellites, which were commissioned in 2017. Although Galileo has been operational since initial services was started in 2016, this batch of satellites will bring the constellation to full operational capability.
The purpose of the coming up launch of Galileo is to complete the deployment of the satellites and the population of the different orbital planes to ensure that the constellation is complete. Our constellation requires 8 operational satellites and 2 spare satellites per plane, and this has not been achieved yet. And this is what we are doing. And now, with the Launch 11, we will start the deployment in orbit of what we call the third batch of Galileo first-generation satellites.
So we need to have more satellites in our constellation to have an increased performance in terms of availability. So we need to have more satellites in the air to be securing that at any point on the Earth, we are having enough satellites in good geometry to determine our position.
The Galileo satellite navigation system is owned by the European Union, which has charged ESA with the design and development of the system. It's the largest European satellite constellation and the most accurate satellite navigation system in the world. To achieve this, the system not only relies on the satellite constellation, but also on an extensive and complex ground segment, receiving and disseminating the navigation messages and timing services. The satellites that are now about to be launched were, like all their operational predecessors, flight tested at ESA's test centre at ESTEC, an important step to ensure the quality of the satellites.
Here in the test center, the satellites are submitted to the environments it will experience in space, which is vacuum, low temperature, high temperatures, acoustic noise, and we submit to an environment that is a little bit more extreme that they will see. In this way, we are sure that when we've launched the satellites, they will operate. Because obviously after launch, we cannot repair, we cannot reach them anymore, so we need to be sure that they will be okay. It's a campaign of about 3 months. So every satellite arrives here, and after 3 months, we've gone through the whole acceptance testing. We can accept the satellite and it can be shipped to the launch site.
In the coming years, the 12 Batch 3 will be launched first with the Soyuz and from Launch 14 onwards with Europe's new Ariane 6 launcher, the Galileo program being the launcher's first customer. With technology ever evolving, ESA continues to commit to the technical excellence of the system, which has become so vital for any modern economy, from transportation, be it air, sea and land, to timing services for stock exchange and search and rescue operations. This also means investing and further enhancing the Galileo system and constellation with a new generation of satellites.
What is next for ESA now is the second generation system, which is not a new system. It is, let me say, an evolution of the first generation system. We have currently 2 contracts with industry in place for a total of 12 satellites second generation. They will be more powerful, they will be, as a result, also heavier, but they will have more capabilities. In particular, they will be fully flexible, fully digital, so we can reprogram them in orbit. At the moment with the first generation, if we want to provide significant new services, we're going to have to bring completely new satellites into orbit. With the second generation, we have decided to do it differently and allow this capability de facto to be on the satellites, so we can change things as markets demand it in a relatively quick way.
ESA and Europe will continue to maintain and further develop Galileo, the world's only publicly owned satellite navigation system, but also try to implement its expertise in satellite navigation for new projects such as the Moonlight program, whereby ESA aims to bring navigation and communication services to the Moon for future lunar missions. It has only been 20 years since satellite navigation arrived as a completely new activity in the European space sector. But today, the sector is thriving, and satellite navigation is essential for our modern society and economy.